What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here, and we're going to be going over everything first-time motorcycle riders need to know. And there's some really good information here. It's going to be a longer video because I got a lot of tips. Remember, this is everything you need to know as a first-time rider. And let's just jump into it. Let's get going. I just want to say thank you to my sponsors, my patrons. Thank you guys. You guys are supporting the channel. I haven't been really demonetized in a while, but anytime I talk about motorcycle accidents, I get demonetized. So you patrons are actually making it to where I can do this full time. So if you want to help support the channel, swing on by patreon.com or get the ebook that I just put out. Guys, it's 50 plus pages and it's everything you need to know. Let's just jump into it. Let's go ahead and start riding. So first one, look where you want to go. I'm looking this way. I want to go this way. Boom, done. Next one. Just kidding. Look where you want to go. This is something that I learned when I was a kid and I was snowboarding. Anybody here snowboards? Raise your hand. I'm waiting for your response. Anyways, look where you want to go. This is something that like I said, I learned as a kid as snowboarding, is that my snowboard instructor, when I was a little kid, he's like, hey, look where you want to go and your body will move that way. Your body will move the snowboard that way. And it goes for motorcycling. Look where you want to go and the bike will start moving that way, especially when you start giving a little bit of input. Look where you want to go, okay? You're going to want to go that way. You're going to turn that way. Make sure you look that way. You want to dance with the bike too. Just dance with the bike. Let me go ahead and get dancing. So you want to get nice and loose. You're in a one-on-one dance with the bike. Okay, you're just dancing with the bike. You're relaxing, looking where you want to go. Be nice and loose. That's the whole point of it. Do not be stiff. Do not be stiff and be like, okay, I'm gonna turn right here as an example. Do not be stiff and be like, oh man, where do I go? I'm gonna keep looking straight. I'm gonna keep looking straight. Oh my god, it looks so weird. That was one of the most awkward turns I've done in a long time because I wasn't looking where I wanted to go. So if I want to look where I want to go, I'm going to turn left here. I'm going to look where I want to go. Nice and smooth. I know where I'm going to. I know there's no debris. I'm not paying attention to any other crap. I'm using my focused vision on where I want to go. So boom, there you go. First tip. You definitely want to ride more defensively than you drive. Riding defensively is not a bad thing. I know a lot of people say, well, I ride aggressively because, you know, you have to be aggressive. And I understand that, especially in the bigger cities. You know, you have to ride and you have to drive aggressively to kind of get your spot and protect your area. I understand that, but when you ride, you really need to ride a little bit more defensively in a lot more situations, okay? So when it comes to intersections, definitely cover your brakes. So get ready to cover your brakes, and if anything happens, then you're able to apply the brakes. But when you're out riding, like here, you don't really have to worry about it too much.
So actually take that back. You really do want to focus in a neighborhood. You got to watch out for kids, dogs, you know, just cars pulling out of their driveways, not paying attention because the whole unintentional blindness, they're not used to traffic in their neighborhood. So definitely pay attention, ride defensively in the neighborhood.
Okay, so out here, but like you need to change that situation for intersections is cover the brakes, okay? Just in case that car wanted to turn in front of me. So riding defensively in that way, approach speed to a lot of things. Like this is not even a stop sign for me, but I don't care. I don't know if anybody's gonna hit me. So riding defensively in that aspect, be like, well, they're supposed to stop. Well, at the end of the day, if I'm dead, I can't argue that in court. So ride defensively. Don't forget to put the side stand down. You will fall if you don't. So right here, let's say I'm stopping. Cool, I'm stopping. And I just get off. Oh, this is gonna be so awkward. Just get off and I just walk away. This bike's gonna fall over, okay? So definitely put the side stand down. Make sure it's locked in. Then you can walk away, okay? So make sure you put the actual side stand down. That's very important. I know a lot of people accidentally don't do that. And then they drop the bike. And before we move, I want to make sure my mirror is adjusted because I do not want to be doing that while riding. That's another tip for you. Now I know some of you guys make fun of me for the one mirror. Maybe someday I'll get another one. But you guys both have mirrors up here. Make sure they're adjusted before you're moving because you don't want to be like, oh look, I gotta make sure this is looking good, you know, okay, I can see everything. Blam, get hit. Do a quick pre-ride inspection. Now, I did a pre-ride inspection before I walked up to my bike this morning. I talked about that in a previous video, so check that out. You want to do a super quick pre-ride inspection, okay? You want to check your tires, you check your fluid, see if there's a bunch of fluid on the ground, check your battery, check your lights, to make sure that your brake lights are working. All those things before you go out for a ride, because who knows, when you're going to a stoplight and your brake lights for some reason, like they shorted out or they're not working, and you apply the brakes and you're about to stop, the car behind you doesn't see that because the brake lights aren't working, and then runs into you. That could have been prevented if you got a pre-ride check. Here's another thing, is that I accidentally burned my leg back when I had the Tracker 2-in-1 exhaust because I was an idiot and was riding in shorts. Hey, I was an idiot at one point, just like a lot of people, and I wore shorts when I was riding. I know. But I accidentally burnt my leg. Now, this is a first-time motorcycle riders that you're gonna watch out. Watch out for that. You're gonna burn some parts of your body. Brakes are very hot. Engine parts are hot. And for newer riders, first-time riders, you really want to show off your bike whenever you get someplace. Make sure the people that are near the bike know that those parts are hot. I know. It's almost common sense, but still. Now, here's one thing that, yes, it is common sense, but kids don't really have a lot of it. So if you show up to a place and there's a little kid's like, ooh, nice bike, and they touch the exhaust, you just burnt like a 4-year-old's fingers, hand, and all that stuff. You got to defend your bike until it's cooled off, guys. You really got to defend that bike until it's cooled off. You don't want to be burning any little kid. You don't want to be burning a significant other or anybody just because they don't know. So you need to know. You need to make sure, okay? On top of that, make sure you get some gear. Okay, guys, I talk about gear all the time. Go ahead, buddy. No, I don't have a stop sign. It's my turn. See, riding defensively. I was going to let him go. There's no rush for me. Definitely get gear, okay? Definitely get gear. Full at-gat. So all the gear all the time, personal protective equipment. Get a helmet, get gloves, get a jacket, get pants, get boots or shoes that are motorcycle specific. Now, I have all the information you'll ever need in the DDFM training manual module 1. Okay, so I talk about all the different kinds of gear. I talk about what it is to look for. I talk about armor, what armor is. I talk about Snail rating. I talk about ECE rating, DOT rating for helmets. I talk about all that stuff in my DDFM training manual module 1. So swing on by and check it out. I'll have that as the first comment in the comments. I'll have that pinned up, and I'll have it in the link in the description, as always. And you get a lot of information, 50+ pages. Anyways, you need to make sure that you can protect that body in an incident that happens out of your control, or if you failed to do something because your skill level's not there, because you're a first-time rider, you need to have that protection. Okay, you need to protect your brain and your body parts. You don't want this fun hobby to negatively impact the rest of your life. Another thing that I want to tell you guys about is dress in layers. Okay, so if it's really hot, get yourself a nice underlayer that will wick sweat away. Okay, that will remove sweat. So I talk about how to ride in hot weather, extremely hot weather, and make sure this thing's still on. Good. I talk about how to ride in hot weather, and I want you guys to check that video out. But in cold weather, I did another one on cold. I do a lot of videos. Anyways, is that in cold weather you want to dress in layers so that if it starts warming up, you can actually take off layers and put it in a backpack or put it in saddlebags. Same thing if it starts getting too cold, or if it starts getting colder, you have extra layers to put on you. And you want to have a wind-resistant layer. You want to have a warmth layer. So start dressing in layers for the cold or the heat. Okay, it's very important. And for the heat, you definitely want to get a mesh jacket. And I talk about that in the other video. So pick boots and shoes with good traction. Okay, so these boots, let's see if I can get my foot up. Yeah, these boots have really good traction. I've had these boots. These have probably like 25,000 miles on them. Still very good traction. Very good traction. And you want to have good traction because when you come to a stoplight and you put your foot down, you want to make sure that foot grips. Okay, at stoplights, what are at stoplights? There's usually debris. There's usually some type of oil. There's usually something there that could make your foot slip. If your foot slips at an intersection and you're stopped and you drop the bike, that's a mistake. It's just something that sucks. So make sure you plant your foot on an area that doesn't have the oil and debris, but if it does, if there's no way to get around it, or something happens, you really want to have good traction with your boots or shoes, okay? You do not want your foot to slip at an intersection. You do not want your foot to slip anywhere, especially off the peg. You don't want your foot to slip off the footrest, okay? So that's another reason why I got these really nice Burley brand MX pegs. They're really grippy. They're like spiky. Ooh, face painting. I want to get my face painted. Now this one actually gets some people in a lot of trouble, okay? So really check this out, especially if you're riding across state lines. You need to know your local motorcycle laws. So here in Arizona, for instance, I'm gonna use myself as an example. Arizona, you do not need a helmet. You could actually ride buck naked. You could ride completely butt naked and just have a pair of goggles, because all you need in the state of Arizona is eye protection for the body itself. Now, let's say I ride butt naked all the way across state lines into California. Now in California, you need to have at least a helmet. I'm sure there's other stuff out there, but you need to wear a helmet. So if I cross state lines, I get pulled over, I'm gonna get in trouble for not wearing the proper gear, okay? So you need to know your local laws. You need to know what's going on. So the local law says I need to have one mirror. So here's my one mirror. I don't need turn signals, so I don't have turn signals up front. I just need brake lights. I need to have eye protection. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. There's a few other things but that's it. Now definitely for safety reasons, I probably should have my turn signals. I cut those off a long time ago before I started really doing the safety stuff. Anyways, turn signals, I probably should have bigger mirrors or more mirrors. So there's other things that you should do, but definitely know your local laws, okay? Definitely. It's very important. You do not want to be within, and that's another thing. I got underglow on my bike. I made sure I was within Arizona state law because some places don't even allow that. So I had to look it up before I installed. That will save you a big headache. It'll save you money buying the thing, and it'll save you money when it comes to the fine that you get. And then now you got to rip it off. So you just pay double. You know, it's ridiculous. Anyways, know your local laws. And here's the big thing. Here's another thing is during the pre-ride check, make sure you double check your tire pressure. Make sure. It's going to increase the life and it's going to increase the traction that you have when it comes to I gotta pay attention to traffic real quick. This is a blind spot, so I'm actually going to turn right. I'm in no rush. That bush is in the way. So double check your tire pressure because it will increase the life and the traction of your tires. So if you have it underinflated, it's going to wear out different areas. You have it overinflated, it's going to wear out the center quicker than normal, and you're going to have less traction. So make sure your tire pressure is where it's supposed to be. Now there should be, I have my tire pressure on the bike. Don't follow the one that's on the sidewall of the tires. Follow the one that the manufacturer of your bike recommends, okay? Because that's the one that's super important, okay? So follow that one. So I actually have mine. I have mine like right here. So it's usually next to your VIN. So look for that. I know this was a lot of information for you new riders, but make sure you pay attention to this stuff, okay? I have a ton of videos. I have like 900 videos, and I pretty much cover like all topics. I try to cover as many topics as I possibly can. And the way I get all my topics is because you guys ask questions. So in the comments, ask your questions. It allows me to come up with ideas, what it is I need to answer for you. And I really want you to ride safe. That's why I created that book. Check out the ebook, guys. 50 plus pages to get you started in motorcycle riding. Module 2 and Module 3 will be coming out soon. I'm gonna be working really hard on those. And those will have a ton of information for those that are already currently riding. But if you want to get started, check out this ebook, guys. Check it out. Just check it out. Check it out, boys. With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'm gonna go home and relax. It's starting to get hot.